Alright, so before getting started, it's a little easier to see disassembled, so that's why I'm doing this later. But when you have this tool here, you know, it operates, you know, this holds up against the knuckle. So as you can see, this doesn't have a good fit, but it does come with adapters. And so you're going to want to find the adapter with the tightest fit back up here. And then this will screw to that. And that will make a huge difference as far as getting a straight pull and making this come off nice and easy versus having a real hard time. So now we're on to the wheel hub and bearing part of this job. I don't have a sleeve for my puller that fits the inside race of this this hub. Went down to a hardware store, got a washer so it fits between right here and under this retention ring for the anti-lock tone ring, so that'll fit in nice and fits here. Then I have this sleeve here to go on top of that washer, and then the nut to pull it. It's gonna pull that hub out, and that's the setup that I'm using for this. And this again, stack up what's going on the back of this. Fitted there. And now we're going to want to make sure this is all centered up in the shaft here before we get. For this, you will need a high torque impact gun to pull this out, as it takes a very large amount of force. And just need to loosen this guy up. And what normally happens is this inner part of the race comes out with the hub and bearing. I've seen some people say that you can reuse these. I've never had success reusing a hub before, so I always just will be putting a brand new hub in here as well and replacing both the hub and the bearings. Okay, so one of the things about these Toyota wheel hub bearing cylinders, there's a seal on the front, seal on the back. So before we can pull this bearing out, we're gonna have to remove these seals and then remove the anti-brake tone ring in the back. I'll link to a video that shows you where they, I don't know if they reuse these seals or not, either way. I'm not a fan of reusing seals ever. You're not gonna leak anything. They're mostly just dust seals to keep the inside clean. But keep in mind, this is a 20-year-old, or almost a 20-year-old bearing with 225,000 miles on it, and original from the factory. And it's lasted a long time. So we'll just do it the way we know it's good, but we're gonna tap this seal off. So just hammer. Off that seal comes. Now at this point, I'm gonna remove the knuckle, take it over the bench, knock off the back seal, pull off the outright tone ring, and we're gonna put it back on and pull the bearing. So that being said, take these nuts back off. They're never really tight to begin with because they're gonna be going on and off here a few times. So the next thing we're going to do, we'll remove this little snap ring right here. Clean this up a little bit. And removing that snap ring will expose this outer race of that bearing just inside here. And then on the back here, there's a seal right across here that we're going to take off. And the way we're going to do that, and it's stuck on there pretty good, so we're just going to ever so gently separate this. There we go. So now that back seal is off. Now we can pull out this retention ring, which holds the anti-lock or the wheel speed tone ring. So you can see its bevel side goes up. And then this is the wheel speed tone ring. And now what we're going to do is find a cup that fits just in here, pushes on the outer race of this bearing, and we're going to do the same thing and pull this back out. So we're going to go throw this back on the truck to finish pulling that bearing out. So we're going to rehang our knuckle. Back up here. Again, I'm not really tightening this down at all. You just need to hold it in place so that we can get our puller on it. Still upper, lower ball joint. Just go into hand tight, and just so that you can see. So this is going to go there. Find the one that goes across that inner race. So this will be what pulls on the back side, and the same thing up front here. So go back to install our puller. Get our shaft in here. Center things up, make sure it's coming as straight as possible. The straighter it is, the easier this thing's gonna come out. I've learned a while ago, I did try this once with breaker bars here and here. The problem with breaker bars is that as you're pulling up, it side loads, and especially if you're gonna compress, it'll never go straight with wrenches, which is why on these tools, you will always want to use an impact gun, because it will guarantee that it means out the bearing comes. Okay. And there's our bearing. And there is the freed knuckle. So next we'll be pressing the new stuff in.